Today we're going to be studying mathematics.
And emerges from the second mirror.
These words sound
Be your teacher for today. Great to be in your class once again. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be with you once again. You are welcome to MS High EduTech online home lesson. Today we want to consider another topic, and it's going to be great because I love this topic. Why? It's applicable to real life. Okay? Have you ever heard about vary? Have you ever heard about various? Have you ever heard about different? I have various cows. I have various pen. I have various clothes. Okay? We are looking at variation. Variation. What is variation? Variation simply means changing in the value of parameter. Now that might sound so like I'm speaking English. Let's go into working. Now we have types of variation. Okay, types of variation. We have direct variation. We have inverse, okay, variation. Can you tell me the third one? Okay. We have joint variation. And the last one, we have partial variation. Okay. But for the purpose of this class, we are going to center on these three types of variation. Okay, now let's start with direct variation. Direct variation. Okay, now in direct variation we have some terms we use in variation. Number one, we have this symbol called proportion. Then we have K called constant. So these two terms, we use it in variation most often. So as a result of this topic, you'll be hearing words like directly proportional, inverse proportional, jointly proportional, and so on and so forth. We'll be hearing the word also constant. Now, let's say A is directly proportional to B. How can we express this in mathematics? It's telling you that A directly proportional to B. That's just the implication. That's just the interpretation. Now, we cannot leave it like this. A equals to KB when YK is what? Is constant. So this is proportional and this is what we call direct proportion. Now, we can use X. We can say X directly proportional to Y, or we can say X is directly proportional to the square of Y. So you need to really understand the question before you interpret it. So X will give us KY squared. Or we may have something like X directly proportional to the cube of Y. You know this is cube. So X will be equals to what? KY cube. Where YK is what? Is constant. So I'm giving you this because by the time we launch into example now, you will really understand me and it will not look boring. Okay, now let me give you example of direct variation. Let's go. Example: when x is directly proportional to y, x is 4, y is 2. Number 1, find a equation that connects x and y. B, find x when y equals to 10. C, find y when x equals to 20. So let's solve this question together. This really requires your patience and ability to interpret question. So let's think together and interpret this. X is directly proportional to y. What will you do? X directly proportional to y. X equals to ky. Yk is what? Constant. Okay, now from this question, x is given to us as 4. Put 4 here. K, we don't know it. Y is 2. Okay, so this one will give us 4 equals to k times 2. It give us 2k. So you divide both sides by 2 because we have 2 here. Divide by 2, divide by 2. K will give us 4 all over 2. K will give us 2. Okay, now you need to be very careful. The first question is find the equation that connects x and y. So what is the equation that connects x and y? X equals to ky. X is 4 and k is what? 2y. So this is the equation that connects what? X and y. We solve number 1. Now A, we want to solve the b part of it. B, the b part of it, we want to look at x. We want to find x when y equals to 10. Y is no more 2 and x is no more 4. You don't have anything to do with x equals to 4 and y equals to 2 again once you find your k. So take note of that so that you don't get confused. So what are you going to do? You just repeat the equation again. X equals to ky. We are finding x. K is 2 and y is 10. So x will give us what? 20. Now let's look at the c part of it. C, we are finding y. When x equals to 20, we are finding y. So what are we going to do? Just repeat the equation. X equals to ky. X is 20. X is no more 4 because this is what we are doing. This is what we are finding. Okay, k is 2 and y is what we are looking for. So you divide this by 2, divide this by 2. Y will give you 10 divided by 2 will give you 10. I believe you understand this. Now let me give you one more example on direct variation in case you have difficult question like the one I explained to you earlier. The square of y, the cube root of y, and all other things like that. So that is why we are here for you, to solve some difficult question and make it simple for you. Okay, now let's look at this example. We want to look at this example. It might look somewhat difficult, but by the time we finish, you discover that it's very simple. If P is directly proportional to square of Q, when P is 50, Q is 5. A, find Q when P equals to 50. B, find P when Q equals to 6. So let's solve to get together. P directly proportional to the square of Q. This is square. P equals to K Q square. Okay, now our P is 50. 50 equals to K times 5 square. Okay, 50 equals to K. 5 square means 5 times 5. So 50 will give us 25K. 5 times 5, 25. Divide both sides by 25. Divide both sides by 25. So this will cancel this. K will give us 50 divided by 25. 25 here 1, 25 here 2. K will give us 2. Okay, now we find our K. We want to find Q when P equals to 50. So what are we going to do? Now let's divide this. Now to find Q when P equals to 50, you repeat this formula. P equals to K Q square. Now what is our P? Our P here is 50. Okay, 50. K is 2. Okay, and Q, we don't know it. We have Q square. Okay, divide this by 2, divide this by 2. These 2 will cancel these 2. Q square will give you 50 all over 2. So Q will give us 50 divided by 2 will give us 25. Okay, Q will give us square root of 25. So now to find the square root of 25, what are we going to do? We find the square root of 25. This is 25. 5 and 5, 5. 5 and 25, 5. 5 and 5, 1. So it will give us Q equals to root 5 times 5, which will give us Q equals to root 5 squared. So this, we cancel this, our Q will be equals to what? 5. I believe you get it right. And I think you're supposed to know that the square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 36 is 6. At this level, you should be able to know that. Okay, but in case you don't know it, that's why I work it out for you. Now let's go to the last part. Find P when Q equals to 6. Find P when Q equals to 6. Now I want to solve it here. P equals to K Q squared. We are finding P when Q equals to 6. So what are we going to do? P, K is 2 and Q is 6. 6 squared. P will give us 2 times 6 squared means 6 times 6. Okay, P will give us 2. 6 times 6 will give us what? 36. So let's multiply 36 by 2. 2 times 6, 12. 2, remainder 1. 2 times 3, 1. 2 times 3, 6, plus 1, 7. So we have P will give us 72. I believe you get this very well. And in case you don't understand, watch all over again. You will see that it's very simple. So let's go to the next one, which is inverse variation. Inverse variation. Some people call it indirect variation. What have you? Okay, in inverse variation, when you say A is inversely proportional to B, what does that mean? It means A, when we say inverse, if I tell you what is the inverse of 5, the inverse of 5 is 1 over 2, 5. What's the inverse of 6? The inverse of 6 is 1 over 6. So the same thing applicable here, proportional to B. Okay, now A equals to K times 1 over B. A will give us K times 1 is K all over B. So this is what we call inverse variation. Okay, now let me give you just one example. Then if you can really understand the one example, you can solve question or any question on inverse variation. Let's go to the example. A is inversely proportional to B. When A is 2, B is 4. Find A when B is 10. Find B when A is 5. So what are we going to do? A inversely as B. A equals to K all over B. Okay. Now from here, the value of our A is 2. Replace this with 2. K is not known. Y K is constant. Okay. Now B is given to us as 4. So this is whole number. Divide it by 1 to make it fraction. Then you cross multiply. When you cross multiply, 4 times 2 equals to 1 times K. 4 times 2 will give us 8. 1 times K will give us K. So K will give us 8. So the value of K is 8. Now let's look at number 1. A when B equals to 10. Okay. Okay, class, we want to find A when B equals to 10. And remember our formula, A equals to K all over B. Our K is 8. You can remember. And our B is 10. So A will give us 2 here, 4, 2 here, 5. It gives us 4 all over 5. Now let's look at B. To find B when A equals to 5. So you repeat, A equals to K all over B. A is 5, B is 8, K is 8, and B is not known. Divide this by 1 to make it fraction. Then you cross multiply. We have 5 times B equals to 1 times 8. This will give us 5B. 1 times 8 will give us 8. You divide both sides by 5. Divide this by 5. This cancel this. B will give us 8 all over 5. I believe you are following this class, and this is very simple if you really follow the way we are doing it together. Okay, let's go to the last part of this class. We are looking at joint variation. Joint variation. Now, what is joint variation? It's just like you join A and B together. It's just like you join whole number and fraction together, and we call it mixed fraction. So the same thing happens with joint variation. That means you join direct variation and inverse variation together. So we have joint variation. Now let's see how to solve question on joint variation. Okay, class, we want to look at joint variation. Joint variation is the combination of direct and inverse variation. For example, we have A is directly proportional to B and inverse to C. How can we represent this in mathematical form? Just A directly proportional to B and inversely proportional to C. Now, you can see that we have A, B, and C. A is directly proportional to B, and A is inversely proportional to C. So what are you going to do? A will give us B times K all over C. So this will give us A equals to KB all over C. Why K is constant. Don't get confused with this. By the time we solve question, you will understand what I mean. Now let's look at this example. X is directly proportional to Y and inversely to Z when X is 2, Y is 4, and Z is 6. Find X when Y equals to 10 and Z is 3. Find Y when X is 5 and Z is 2. Find Z when X is 4 and Y is 2. This looks so big, but by the time we solve it, you discover that it's very simple. Let's go. Okay, X directly proportional to Y and inversely proportional to Z. X equals to Y times K all over Z. X will give us KY all over Z. Okay, now the next thing to do now is our X is 2, K is not known, Y is 4, and Z is 6. So divide this by 1 and cross multiply. You have 2 times 6 equals to 4K, because 4 times K will give us 4K. So this will give us 12 equals to 4K. Divide this by 4, divide this by 4. 4 will cancel 4. K will give us 12 all over 4, and K will give you what? 3. Okay, now we have K to be 3. Our question number 1 is X, to find X when Y equals to 10 and Z equals to 3. Nothing concerns you with X, Y, and Z here again once you get your K. So don't get confused. Okay, so we repeat the formula. X equals to KY all over Z. Now to find X, X will give us, what is our K? 3. What is Y? 10. Divided by 3, which is Z. X will give us 30 divided by 3. 3 here 1, 3 here 1. X will give us 10. I hope you understand. Now, to find Y when X is 5 and Z is 2, repeat the formula equals to KY all over Z. X is 5. K is 3. Y is what we are looking for. And Z is 2. So your eyes has to be working here so that you don't mix it up. Divide this by 1. Cross multiply, you have 5 times 2 equals to 3 times Y will give you 3Y. 5 times 2 will give us 10. 3Y. Remember, you divide this by 3. Divide this by 3. 3 cancel 3. Y will give you 10 all over 3. I believe you get that. Now, let me manage this. I want to find the value of C. letter C. Find the value of Z when X equals to 4 and Y equals to 2. So repeat the formula, KY all over Z. What is our X? 4. What is our K? K is 3 and Y equals to 2. Z is not known. Divide this by 1. Cross multiply, we have 4 times Z equals to 3 times 2, 6. So this one will give us 4Z equals to 6. Divide both sides by 4 by 4. This will cancel this. Z will give you 2 here, 3, 2 here, 2. We give you 3 all over 2. So I believe you understand this. In case you find any part of this topic a little bit difficult, in which I believe that it's not difficult, you can send your feedback to us through the WhatsApp number running on the screen, and we will surely get back to you. Let me remind you again, you are going to write exam at the end of this module, which is module 3 for junior secondary school. Just at the comfort of your house online, you are going to write exam. So I'm pleading with you, and I'm still encouraging you to get serious with your study. Thank you very much. Now, before we round up this class, there is one thing I still remember, and that is word problems on variation. Word problems. This might look so strange, but it's going to help you, most especially when you are writing your junior WAEC or you are writing any international examination. Okay, so let me show you word problems on variation before we leave this class. Thank you. Okay, class, this is the last part of for this class, word problems on variation. And this is real. I've told you before that variation is real. We can apply it in the real life. If it costs 17,500 naira to lodge in a hotel for 7 days, what is the cost of lodging for 3 days in the same hotel? We can use variation to interpret this. So let's interpret it together. Let the cost be C and days be D. Okay, so C is directly proportional to D. C equals to KD. So now, from here now, our C is 17,500 naira. Okay, K is not known, and D is 7 days. 7 days. So what are we going to get? Divide this by 7. Divide this by 7. 7 will cancel 7. K will give you 17,500 divided by 7. So K is going to give you what? Let's solve it together. 17,500. 7. 7 here, 1. 7 in 17 is going to give us 7 times 2 is 14. We have 2, remainder 3. Okay, put the 3 here. 3. 7 in 35. 7 times 5 will give us what? 35. So we have 5. Okay, 5. Then the remaining 0. So it's going to give us 2,500. 2,500. But this is not our last answer, final answer. So we have to find what is the cost of lodging for 3 days. So what are we going to do? C equals to KD. C is the cost we are looking for. K is 2,500 naira. And day is what? 3. So this one will give us 2,500 multiplied by 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5, 15. 5 remainder 1. 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7. So it's going to give us 7,500 naira. So great. So excited. And I believe that you two are so happy to be in this class. Before we leave this class, I'm going to give you homework to do for me so that it can keep you busy until we meet next class. So let me give you work to do. Okay class, this is work to do for me at home. If P is inversely to Q, when P is 6, Q is 10. Find A, equation that connects P and Q. Then P when Q is 12 and Q when P is 15. Number 2, if X is directly as Y and inversely as W, when X is 12, Y is 2 and W is 10. Find X when Y is 4 and W is 2. Find Y when X is 10 and W is 3. I believe you really enjoyed this class. In case you find anything difficult, you can send back your feedback to us through the WhatsApp number rolling on the screen, and trust us, we are going to get back to you with a positive result. Thank you very much. See you next class.